All right, welcome to a Beyond Physical Therapy morning shakeout routine. We'll get right to it. So before you sip your coffee, let's go ahead and lay down and warm up our bodies. So coming onto your back, first we're just gonna pause and sip in the morning air. Just taking a couple minutes to focus on the breath. And as you bring your awareness to your breath, you may start to notice that your breath naturally calms down. Sometimes we don't have to fix things, we rather just have to watch them to get them to relax. Noticing and checking in, how does your body feel this morning? How do your muscles, your stomach, your heart, how do they feel? Next, noticing how your emotional body feels. Are you tired? Are you awake? Are you playful? All are valid. Just take a moment to check in. Next, noticing where your mind is this morning, your psychological body. Are you jumping around in your thoughts like a monkey mind, or is your mind calm and still? Both are fine. We're just observing right now. Softly taking another big inhale through your nose. Holding your inhale at the top for a slow count of 10. 7 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, exhale, release. Let the exhale go slowly, bringing you back into this body and this space. Let's get ready to move. Hugging both knees into your chest, we're gonna find a spinal rocker. So just gently pulling your chin to your chest, curling your shoulder blades off the floor, we find a little spinal flexion. If curling up right away is a little too much for you, feel free to keep your head down. Also, if you have osteoporosis, it may be important and smart for you to leave your head down as well, so your spine is straight. Then we're gonna place our feet onto the floor and slowly lift the hips up into a shoulder bridge, extending through the heart, and then gently letting the spine fall down one vertebrae at a time before we bring both knees back into the chest, just hugging onto the shins or lifting the head up, whatever feels best for your body, and then plant the feet, lift the hips, spinal rocker. Flexing up, we're moving into a C shape through the spine or spinal flexion, and then we're planting the feet and we're lifting the hips up into spinal extension. And as you're moving back and forth through these positions, we're gonna try and just go for 10 seconds. So instead of counting reps, we're doing a little bit more of an intuitive practice and we're just feeling what our body needs. If you feel like you need a couple more after I stop, you're probably right. Your body probably does. So just do a few more. We're just warming up the back and then pausing into stillness. Taking your stretch strap. If you don't have one, feel free to pause the video and grab one. And you can use a belt or a dog leash or a rope or an actual handy dandy stretch strap. Hooking it around the bottom of the foot just below the toes to get the calf more involved. You can keep the foot here or straighten it out for a deeper stretch. We're gonna start by pulling the knee in towards the chest. And then instead of holding statically, we're gonna lift the legs straight, hamstring stretch, making sure the bottom stays down. Equal weight on both sides of your bottom so you're not tilting in the hips. And then we're gonna slowly bring the leg over towards the side into an IT band stretch. Holding for just a moment. And if your spine is rotating, you've gone too far. Reel it back in a little bit. Keep both hips down on the ground, and before you go, oh man, I didn't even move, It's a small movement for everybody. So small movements can be powerful. We're gonna bring knee to chest, hamstring stretch, IT band stretch. We're gonna find that a few times. Knee to chest, foot to sky, IT band, foot back to directly over the hip, knee to chest. Up, over, up, in. A few more times. Up, over, up, in. Keep that going. And we're just gonna imagine length all the way out through the foot. We're flossing through the fascia and the nerves of the lower leg, of the whole lower extremity actually. Moving with the breath. Can you stay in this moment? And then switch to the other side. Hook the other foot into the strap. Right leg can be bent to make it a little more easier, or straight to intensify. Knee comes into chest. Nice and slow. Leg to sky. IT band stretch to the side. Back up to sky and in. Sky, over, up, in. Sky, over, up, in. And if your mind starts to wander, maybe you start to repeat that to yourself to help you stay here. Moving with the breath. With each movement, can you change your breath? So maybe you exhale as you go over, inhale as you come down. Noticing the differences between the right and the left leg. Good. And then slowly relax, shaking out the legs. And then we're gonna squeeze the core, bring the arms out to a low V, and we're gonna gently rock the hips side to side. So in the morning, I don't know about y'all, but my back is tight. So it takes me a little while to slowly wiggle my way into a deeper twist, and that's okay. Nothing needs to be forced. We're just taking it nice and slow, moving with the breath. You'll rock your knees over towards one side, and then rock it over to the other. Listening to the stillness before you start listening to all the chaos that ensues throughout the day. This is your time for you, so don't worry about getting too tied up and if you're doing it right or wrong. If it doesn't feel good to your body, then make an adjustment. If it feels okay, just close your eyes and sink in. Coming into stillness, we're going to slowly roll onto our bellies. Coming all the way to face the ground. We're going to extend our back into extension the other way. So inhale, start to pull your elbows into your side and point your elbows down to the floor as you lift your chest. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lifts your chest up, expands. Exhale, releases to the floor. Maybe softly closing the eyes and keeping the chin at the chest to be careful not to crank back into the neck. And you're just moving up and down here. Arching the back in the opposite direction that we just flexed forward. So we're warming up the spine from all angles. Slowly slide the elbows forward like Sphinx pose if you're familiar with yoga. Pull your belly in, nudge your chin to the chest so the back of the neck is long. And then just relax here. Warming up our spine for the morning. Slowly let yourself come down. And we're gonna take our strap, or if your hand is able to reach your foot, we're just gonna use our strap as a little assist into a quad stretch. So pulling your belly in. If you have a sensitive spine, feel free to put a pillow under your hips. And you're just gonna bring your heel towards your bum. Holding for a moment, and then a little relaxed, not forcing anything. Just varying how much pressure you're giving and relaxing into the stretch. So instead of holding again, we're statically moving throughout this whole mobility warm-up. And then and go into the other side. Flip the foot, and then just using it in no particular right or wrong way to bring your heel towards your bottom with your core engaged to avoid cranking in your low back. You can keep your chin on the floor. Alternatively, you can put your hand underneath your forehead to give your nose space. And we're just gonna floss or move in and out here. One more. Okay. Letting that go, we're gonna come up onto our hands and our knees. We're gonna warm up those wrists for the day. So it's gently rocking forward and back. You're just gonna put your hands straight down into the floor underneath your shoulders. Spine is nice and straight. You're gonna rock forward and back, maybe side to side. Just waking up the wrist joint for the day. And then turn your fingers back behind you and sit down a few times towards your heels. You're gonna feel a deep stretch into your forearm, so maybe you move a little, maybe you don't move much at all, and that's okay. And then flip your hands over so the back of your hands are on the ground, and you're gonna sit your bum back towards your heels again. Using the breath, inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Nice. Sitting back onto the heels, we're gonna shake out the hands, so give them a couple flicks. Good, waking up our elbows and our wrists for the day. Now going into spinal side bending. Inhale, arm up to sky. Nice yummy side stretch. Exhale, back through. Good, just reaching up through the side, fanning up and over. Maybe you start small and you make the side bend or the crescent moon shape a little more aggressive as you go along. Maybe you don't, and that's perfectly okay. Pausing into stillness. Go ahead, if it feels okay to you, to flip your toes under, so you're tucking, and then sit your bottom back onto your heels to stretch out your plantar fascia. Turning your palms up towards the sky. Ooh, can you feel that nice stretch out through your feet? Maybe that's too much, and maybe bending your knees like this is too much. And you can always take a ball between your heels and your feet, give you a little more space. Take a nice big inhale, and then exhale, we release. And we finish here in child's pose. Well, I'm gonna take a wide-legged variation today and bring my knees out to the side and then just let my body come down. Forehead rests down onto the ground. This is where we seal our morning warm-up. Coming back to where we started with the breath. Can you figure out and experiment with what is the rate, the depth, the shape, the texture, the color of your breath in this moment? How is your physical, emotional, and psychological bodies doing now? And they don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be okay in this moment, and that's fine. Giving yourself permission to feel however it is you authentically feel in this moment. Let's take one more big communal inhale. One large exhale out. And now, you are ready to grab that pot of coffee or tea and start your day.